we have the current stock market update for Super Micro Computer Incorporated, stock ticker SMCI. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts in the comments section below so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. So what we're looking at here is the hourly time frame. Each candle on this price chart represents a 1 hour trading period. And what we can see here is that, we're sort of consolidating at these upper levels. We've been watching some of these exact same price levels now for quite a while. And it really is looking like we're sort of forming a base here at upper levels. So there's a lot going on here. I do think on balance that this is a bullish equation here. But I do suggest that people take a look at my the NVIDIA video that I just released, because I do think that the fate of this stock is actually going to be tied to NVIDIA here over the next week or two. NVIDIA is probably on the verge of making a new all-time high. And then I think if that does occur, I think that you're going to see another rush, another wave of buying activity that's sort of being seen in the peripheral AI stocks. So I think AMD can benefit. I think even Intel can probably benefit. Broadcom, Qualcomm, Supermicro, companies like this. So I think that these are all stocks that could start to see a benefit here if we do see an all-time high in NVIDIA. The NVIDIA share price currently is heading lower today. We're seeing a bit of a rejection away from that 140 all-time high for that stock, but we're not really seeing the same type of price action here in Supermicro. So I do think that that's interesting because, in theory, this should really be heading lower, and it's actually remaining somewhat stable here. So anybody that knows this stock, anybody that's familiar with this stock knows that this is a highly volatile instrument here. This thing is a savage animal. It's a wild beast, and not for beginners, really. This is a volatile stock is what I'm saying. But what we're seeing right now is very stable price action. So this is a bit out of character is really what I'm getting at here. NVIDIA is kind of collapsing today. I mean, NVIDIA lost almost $10 in share price. So, it's sort of strange to be seeing this. I mean, it's not really what would be expected. But we're sort of holding on to these range highs here. And in my view, this is still, creating a scenario where this ascending triangle remains intact. I mean, this chart pattern remains consistent here. We really have not seen any breaks to the downside. We're seeing some sort of spikes to the top side and some breaches of that resistance zone. But we really haven't seen any closing periods above there, not even on an hourly basis. So I'm not comfortable yet calling that price breakout to the top side, especially with something like this, which is a stock that can just reverse anytime it wants. This is still a bullish scenario in my view, and I do think that if NVIDIA is going to be posting new all-time highs here in the next week or so, I think that that's going to pull every one of these other stocks higher with it. So we'll see if that happens with Supermicro. To the downside, really what I'm looking at here still is this 4410 support zone. I would consider this to be a double bottom support zone. So I would probably need to see that area break in order to start to revise the bias lower. If we did start to see something like that, then I think you could start to expect, probably a sub 40 test, probably at this 3980 support zone would probably be likely at that point. I mean, at that stage, this chart pattern would start to fall apart. And that would change the outlook. However, that has not happened yet. So we're not at that point. I'm just giving the potential bearish scenario here. So, ultimately, my expectation here is that we do see a break to the top side. It's very strange for the stock to be trading in a stable fashion. Number one, I mean, we can just stop right there by saying that. But number two, during a day where, a lot of other stocks, I mean, even AMD is seeing some fairly significant losses today. And somehow this stock is being stable. I mean, it's really behaving itself, which is surprising to see for this name. So overall, I would expect this to be a positive outcome here. I think that people are sort of maybe standing on the sidelines a bit, not really ready to start to short sell this name because you could see an explosion higher here. And we're looking at now a resistance test that has been fairly consistent here, over the past few trading sessions. So overall, we're not here to predict the future. We're here to sort of wait for signals and then react to those signals. So we do need to see sharp prices break above this resistance zone. But as you can see here, I mean, this is a very clearly defined resistance area. It is coming in right around 48.50. But I think that there is so much pressure in this stock that is building up that if we do see a break of 48.50, I think that you absolutely see a break of $50 as well. I think that the momentum that sort of overtakes the stock at that point is probably going to be substantial. I mean, there could be sell orders, parked right around $50 per share. I mean, that is possible, but there is just so much energy that is building at the top end of this triangle pattern. I mean, that's unavoidable. I mean, there's a lot going on here. You could also make the argument that this is an inverse head and shoulders pattern as well. It's a bit messy because of the way that this prior decline occurred. But if we could imagine for a moment that this major candle was not here, I would call this an inverse head and shoulders pattern. I would refer to this as the left shoulder. You've got the head here around 39.80, and then this right shoulder would come in at 44.10. It's a little hard to do that because there's this bizarre candle that's showing up here. It sort of throws a big wrench in the works as far as that price pattern goes. But overall, in many instances, I am comfortable ignoring something like that because this candle here is an anomaly. This is an outlier, an outlier of a candle. So in many cases, I am actually comfortable sort of ignoring something like that. But it does throw a little bit of a wrench in the works. In either case, these are all bullish price patterns. You've got an ascending triangle. You've got a possible inverse head and shoulders pattern. You've got a long series of resistance tests here right around 48.50. So, there's not much in this chart at the moment that's pointing in the bearish direction, in my opinion. I think in order for that to occur, I would first need to see a break of 44.10. If that occurs, then these other patterns start to fall apart, and then you have to revise the outlook. Overall, right now, the indicator reading is no help at the moment. We've got conflicting signals here because we saw a break in this direction, and we also saw a break in this direction. So this isn't really helpful at the moment. This is just sort of sideways at the moment, and I think that we're consolidating here, and I think that we're waiting to see what happens with NVIDIA. I think that if NVIDIA does somehow collapse here, that this stock could move lower. Possibly, but if NVIDIA moves to all-time highs, I think this entire group is moving higher. So here's the current stock market update for Super Microcomputer Incorporated, stock ticker SMCI. Our high-value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high-conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk-to-reward metrics that target massive, market-beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market, lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.